It is my pleasure to welcome Premier Doug Ford to Alberta for an announcement that is in every way as historic as the Calgary Stampede that he's been attending over the last couple of days, and is every bit as exciting. I'd like to acknowledge that both of us have ministers and members of our teams in the room as well, and I'd like to welcome the Honourable Stephen Lecce, who is Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines, the Honourable Kinga Surma, Ontario's Minister of Infrastructure, and MPP Will Boma, the Parliamentary Assistant to the Premier, Minister of Indigenous Affairs and First Nations Economic Reconciliation, Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs and Minister of Northern Economic Development and Growth to Alberta. He's got a very long title.
Thompson.
And Minister Thompson as well. All right, and Minister Thompson, who I will let the Premier tell you a little bit more about his portfolios. Oh, gosh. Okay. Missed a couple. He's going to go. I'd also like to acknowledge Alberta's Minister of Energy and Minerals, the Honourable Brian Jean. We've got Alberta's Minister of Jobs, Economy, Trade and Immigration, the Honourable Joseph Scow, Alberta's Minister of Transportation and Economic Corridors, the Honourable Devin Dreeshen, and Alberta's Minister of Infrastructure, the Honourable Martin Long are here as well. Did I miss any of my people? All right, I think we've got a few more that are outside as well. We're also joined by guests from energy companies that have strong ties in both Alberta and Ontario. And today marks an important step forward in uniting our country as Alberta joins forces with Ontario to pursue our shared goals of economic growth, opportunity and prosperity. We're signing 2 memorandums of understanding that will see us advance pipelines and pathways to boost exports of homegrown energy and critical minerals to markets across Canada and across the world, and work collaboratively to support both Ontario's automotive industry as well as Alberta's liquor manufacturing industry, industries that contribute substantially to our provincial economies. The first of these agreements formalizes our commitment to working together to maximize the economic value of Canada's energy resources and enhance Canada's energy security and global competitiveness. We're uniting with Ontario to amplify our voices and double down on our efforts to carve a path forward together for Alberta, for Ontario, and for Canada. Through this agreement, we'll work together to explore ways to improve networks and corridors that better connect our energy and critical minerals to markets here at home, as well as international markets around the globe. We'll focus on supporting industry efforts to build oil and gas pipelines and refining, processing, and supply chains for energy and critical minerals between Alberta and Ontario. We'll work towards accelerating our exports across industries. And that means we're seeking to add more rail lines to increase capacity and enhance access to ports, including to sites in James Bay and southern Ontario. And we will share expertise to advance development of nuclear energy solutions so our provinces can keep up with the ever-growing demand on Alberta and Ontario's electricity grids. We know there's strength in taking a united front, but we cannot achieve our shared provincial goals without cooperation from the federal government. It's vital that the federal government gets fully on board with creating the conditions necessary to strengthen Canada's economy and competitiveness, improve investor confidence, and grow productivity. Ottawa must answer our calls and remove all federal barriers that have harmed Canada's ability to grow the energy sector and other industries such as mining and manufacturing. And this includes, but is not limited to, repealing or amending the Impact Assessment Act and the oil tanker ban. We're also working to repeal the net zero power regulations and the proposed oil and gas production cap. We also call on the federal government to repeal their electric vehicle mandate that comes into effect next year. Last year, only 4.2% of the cars sold in Alberta were zero-emission vehicles, and the federal government's EV mandate says that 20% of cars sold in 2026 must be zero-emissions vehicles. We buy about 200,000 cars, so that would be about 40,000 cars. So we would have to buy nearly every single zero-emission vehicle manufactured in Ontario last year to hit the 20% target, and we're just one province. So removing federal barriers will allow Alberta and Ontario to attract investment and project partners we need to get shovels in the ground, grow industries, and create jobs. I'm excited to continue collaborating with Ontario so we can reach our shared goals, including to advance pipelines and responsible energy development. I am also pleased to partner with Premier Ford to support the growth of 2 other major industries of significance to Alberta and Ontario. The second memorandum of understanding outlines Alberta's commitment to explore ways to prioritize the purchase of made-in-Canada vehicles for our government fleets in a show of support for Ontario's automotive industry. And it sets the stage for Ontario's government to work with Alberta to explore ways to find additional opportunities to improve the interprovincial trade of liquor products to create even more opportunity for our producers. Today's signing marks an historic partnership, founded in a mutual ambition to reach the full potential of our provinces, to grow our list of global customers for our energy resources, and to achieve long-term prosperity for all Canadians. I'll now turn it over to Premier Ford to speak more about today's MOUs.